Hello, my name is Mike Johnson. I'm taking you on an inside and outside video tour of this 2014 Ford Mustang GT 5.0 with the automatic transmission. And this was a very clean vehicle. This was not owned by some crazy teenager doing crazy stunts. This previous owner of this car was the Beverly Hills Police Department. Yeah, the famous Beverly Hills, California, Axel Foley and all that. Beverly Hills, California, they owned this Mustang. This was an undercover police Mustang. It had stealth lights hidden in it. It has a heavy-duty electrical system with wiring. All the emergency lights, which weren't very many, but there was a few in there, they were removed, and it was driven probably just to be an undercover detective type surveillance vehicle to go find street racers and things like that in the city of Beverly Hills that would cause problems. It's very clean. It has a clean Carfax. It drives really well. It's in very good condition. It's been driven by adults, and we're going to talk about it. It has an upgraded electrical system because they had radios and stuff in the trunk. So if you decide that this is a car you want to put custom rims and custom stereo, leather seats, all that kind of stuff, if you want to customize this car, it already has a high performance electrical system routed to the back, and I'll show you that in this video. So if you want to put a big giant stereo amplifier for ba-boom ba-boom, you could. We're going to talk about it now. Up in the front, it has these HID xenon driving lights, which are low beam. These projector headlights. It's been detailed and waxed. It's very glossy exterior. It doesn't really have any scratches or significant dents to show. These are functional hood vents to let heat out of the engine. And a lot of Mustangs that you see, they only have the 6-cylinder 3.7 liter engine. This one has the 5.0 V8. It's got rear parking sensors. It's got the dual exhaust system. It's very clean. Let's take a look at the engine. Because this is a city-owned vehicle, the engine wasn't modified. This is all 100% stock configuration on this vehicle. Nobody's been monkeying, changing computer chips and stuff like that. If you want to do that, you're dealing with almost unmodified. The only exception, it's got a big heavy-duty battery cable, which is taped off right now. That goes to a circuit breaker over here, which is a truck style circuit breaker, 120 amp circuit breaker. You can engage it or turn it off, and then that runs to the rear of the vehicle, where you could install an amplifier, an inverter, 110 volts, stuff like that. You could put to the back of the vehicle and feed off of that battery circuit to run your equipment that you may want to add to the Mustang if you so choose. Or you can leave it the way it is. It was a city-owned vehicle. It has almost 100,000 miles more or less on it, not quite. You can get financing on it, and they took good care of it. They didn't do stupid things in it. You know, the people who drove it were held accountable. If they would have brought it home messed up, they would have to answer to their boss. That makes this Mustang very special and unique, because in most cases that's not the case. When you buy a high performance muscle car, you can generally assume the previous owner, at some point a teenager got their hands on it and did something stupid. But because this was a police car, probably didn't happen on this one. So It's a high performance muscle car. You've seen the YouTube videos of what people do with their high performance muscle cars. Now we believe all the emergency lights and stuff, the stealth lights may have most likely been removed, but there is wiring going to where they were, and you could adapt that to any type of stereo equipment that you may want to install. But the radios and sirens and lights and stuff like that have been deactivated. So this is talking about the engine now. This is the Ford 5.0, but this is not like the 1980s Ford 5.0. This is a 4 valve per cylinder, a cam adjustable timing engine. And what does all that mean if you don't know cars? 4 valves per cylinder mean when the engine is sucking in air and exhausting it out, 2 valves open for the intake and 2 valves open for the exhaust. That means the engine breathes better. The more air you can flow through the engine, the more horsepower it can produce. And the variable cam timing, what's the big deal about that? These little computer sensors for the camshafts. In the old 60s and 70s, people used to put a hot cam in their car to make it go faster, to open those intake and exhaust valves larger so that more air would breathe through the engine. The problem with hot cams is those cars would run really rough at idle, barely idle, or you may have to crank the idle up to like 1,100 RPMs, so they use a lot of gas when they're idling or sitting in traffic. It's not a pleasant experience. But then when you go fast, it's pretty fun. So the variable cam timing is something that the car manufacturers and race car teams designed. It turns the cams back to a family car setting when the engine is idling, and it advances it forward to a racer setting when the throttle is open. So you get the best of both worlds, a good compromise of super high performance and grandma's family car idle and put around the parking lot performance. So that's what that's about. So as you're looking at the top of the engine, another trick that they do, these little pipes on top, that's your tuned intake. And so those are calibrated to a certain, produce a high performance resonance to help more air flow through the engine at certain RPMs. So they've done all the tweaking and tricking on this stock engine that the older ones didn't have. It's pretty nice setup on the engine. Now if you want to learn more about the engine, I suggest you head to YouTube and study up on all the videos that you could possibly watch are there from all different variable sources that talk about different engines and technologies and stuff like that. But this engine is running good. So as we look at the inside of this one, this is not the premium, this is the regular. So it has cloth interior, it has the non-navigation stereo, and it does not have a backup camera, but it does have parking sensors, power mirrors, nice stereo. Again, this is already wired, so if you wanted to upgrade to some kind of ridiculous 2,000 watt stereo system, it has the heavy duty wiring already running to the back that you can connect amplifiers to, if that's what you're into. But it has a very nice stereo. This is the base model. You can think of it as a blank canvas that you can customize to your perfection. If you want leather seats, we do offer custom installed leather seats provided by Catskin, K-A-T-Z-S-K-I-N-S. You can go on the website and you can custom order a configuration of the seats that you want in your Mustang, and we can have them installed. The cost of upgrading this to full leather is probably about $1,500, depending on how crazy you get on it. But that is easy to do, and it takes actually only about 3 days if you want it done. So it does have steering wheel controls, power windows, power door locks, keyless entry, and we have multiple keys. I think we have 3 or 4 keys for this vehicle, and they're the transponder keys, which means you can't just pop the ignition and start the car. They have computer chips in the keys to prevent theft. They even have the keyless entry remote in the keys. This is not a convertible. This is, they call it the fastback. It's very clean. There's no holes in the roof. The emergency light probably was like a Starsky and Hutch kind of thing. It did have wiring run to the center console. These wires in the center console used to go to the radio equipment. Maybe turn on lights and sirens and stuff like that. It's out of sight, out of mind. Stealth hidden away. In the glove box, we do have the owner's manuals. They are present. It does have a spare tire in the trunk. It does have the factory Ford windshield. It's got the little Mustang in there. So they just driving around the city, they didn't go out and get rock chips all over the front of it. This was used local. And if you hang out in Beverly Hills, you may have seen this in the past several years driving around with you. So when we shift into reverse and we back near an object, it beeps at you as you get close to objects. Can you hear the little beep? To warn you. So the back seats in this car may have never been used. It's real clean in the back. We did have it detailed, but it's very clean. Everything seems to work correctly. We didn't find anything not working correctly. This has adjustable headrests, which can be changed. They have little ratchets to change the angle, and then you can use these levers to put the seat if you load people in the back. Theoretically, you could seat 4 people in here. There's seat belts for 4 people. It's pretty tight in the back seat. It's mostly like you and a close friend ride around in the front. But you can fit 2 in the back. I've seen crazy people put more, but it looks like this one never had anyone in the back seat. Now it's got the stock rims. If you need custom rims, if you're into custom rims, take a look at the website, thetirerack.com, and then you can pull up your make and model and try all different sizes and styles of wheels. But this does have nice tires on it. These are the Goodyear Eagle tires. They're the police grade tires that are on it. They handle pretty good. That's what the police use, the Eagle RSAs, which all the police cars get. They're special tires for law enforcement. You can buy them for your personal use, but they're designed to keep the law enforcement happy. It does have tinted windows. The tinted windows on the back, tinted windows on the side. The little side windows are tinted as well. So I mentioned in the trunk, we have a spare tire back here. It has some extra wiring installed that used to be connected to like stealth emergency lights and things like that, which you could retrofit to your stereo. You have that big heavy duty power cable runs back here. Some stuff that looks like speaker wire. On this one, they put the stuff in the trunk. Probably made it look like a big stereo speaker in the trunk. So if this showed up at a car meet or something, it'd look like a big speaker. So they hid all the emergency equipment in the back. So this is here. This is wiring you can tap into to hook up your cool stereo system if you want to, if that's what you're into. Also, since I have the trunk open, I'll point out, when you're looking at cars to see if they've been crashed in the rear, you can check if this is, it looks like original metal back here, so no signs of accidents on all these street racers who go spin out donuts in intersections and stuff. When they bang into stuff, this gets all tweaked, and that's a good way to look for accidents, especially if you're looking at these muscle cars. You don't want something that's been messed up by someone else. So this has the cool tail lights that are sequential, meaning they blink like so when you turn on the left turn signal, and when you turn on the right turn signal, they blink like that. So I'm going to take you on a little test drive, virtual test drive of the Mustang. Now, I'm not going to drag race it. It's very fast, but the speed limit here is only 50 miles an hour, and it's a populated area, so I'm not going to do anything crazy. But we're going to get on the street. I mentioned the variable cam timing. It drives like a little family sedan when you're putting around the parking lot. Smooth idle. You touch a little gas and it just barely moves, like a Prius when you're putting around the parking lot. And if you modestly hit the gas, it starts making more noise. But if you put the pedal to metal, it'll do crazy things. But we're already doing 50 miles an hour, so we don't want to get in trouble. If I let go of the steering wheel, it drives straight with no hands. It's a very nice driving. It can go into sport shift mode. It's got different modes. If you go on Google, this is what you should do. Go to Google and search for 2014 space Ford space Mustang space brochure space PDF, and then you can download the Ford factory brochure. You'll find it right there on Google in your search, and you can read the manufacturer's brochure and get all the official stuff from Ford. Also, I have a copy of the factory window sticker for this car, and with the factory window sticker tells you how the car was built from Ford. It's a very fast car, but there's cars in front of us, so there's nothing we can do about it. But if you do take it places where you can enjoy, that's totally up to you. Now, my name is Mike Johnson. Check if this car is still available by going on the website. I don't get too many Mustangs because I don't like messed up cars, but this one is really nice. The website again, mybestcar.com. If you're going to buy the car and pay me a check for it, your check pays to the owner of a buyer's choice. And my name is Mike Johnson. If you have questions about the vehicles that I have available, you can give me a call, 951-681-2101. This is a former Beverly Hills Police Mustang. They were the only owner of the vehicle so far.